Awesome. Well, good morning, Signature Real Estate Group. I am excited to be here with you again for another fantastic sales meeting, and this will later be referred to as the sales manager meeting, and I'll get more to that in just a minute. But like every great signature meeting, we're going to start off with an amazing lender who makes all of our deal dreams come true and who's
Oh,
closing the deal for me this next week. So, hey, let's give it up to Shelly with Prosperity. Shelly, take it away.
thank you so much, Chris. That just made my Tuesday, not just this, but happy Tuesday to everyone. I just wanted to do a quick little presentation. If you guys have 45 minutes, I think we have an hour, right? Just kidding. I'm going to throw on here blend for agents. We've had a lot of client or agents ask us how we can send leads. What's the best way to keep track of our clients when the leads are coming over to us? And so I want to share this cool tool. Hopefully you guys can see my display and not my email today, but it's called Blend for Agents. You download it whether you have an Android like me or an Apple like every other person in the United States. You can download Blend for Agents. You can search for your favorite prosperity lending loan officer, and I will share the roster after the sales meeting. You just pick that favorite loan officer, and it's very simple to create a lead, send it over, and just watch the magic happen. As your clients actually download the application and get everything started, you'll actually be able to watch everything go through, and then once they get into contract and they get into the loan process, you'll also be able to see all of the fun milestones and action that's happening on their loan. So it's called Blend for Agents. Make sure if you have any questions on that, contact one of your favorite prosperity lending loan officers. And then one final thing is I do have a marketing training tomorrow at noon. So make sure you join the class tomorrow. You'll see the Facebook information and the link posted today. And then as well, I'll see you tomorrow at noon. That's all I got. Chris, back to you.
Thank you, Shelly. That was the quickest 45 minutes I've ever taken part in, so thank you for that.
Anytime.
So got some exciting news today, and about 2 months ago, Branden and I started the process of adding some additional leaders to our management team to help reinvigorate the company and move the middle, as I'll refer to it later. But the idea was we wanted to find some great individuals within our organization that have proved that they are top sales agents that can create production. And so I'm pleased to announce that we are adding 3 more sales managers to our team. With Branden Cinquegrani, who's already part of that group, was announced just a while back. And so the idea behind it is that within every real estate company, no matter how great production goes or how new you are, there's always that feeling of mindset and reinvigoration. And I used to joke around and say that I was the Cher of real estate, not because I'm tall and handsome, but because I would continually have to reinvent my business and just to get myself remotivated and get back out there and make it happen one more time. And as we know, the business itself is up and down. The markets will shift and change. The clients will get upset or not, or lose their job, or go through a pandemic, or anything else that can be thrown at us that has been. And what we usually notice is that people sometimes stall, and they just lose their motivation to get up and be productive. And so our goal was to find incredible people, which we have, to connect with that base in each of our offices to help get them back into the swing of things. And so today, I'm proud to announce all of them. They're already here on the Zoom meeting, but you may not be able to see them yet. And so I'm going to start off by going through the roster, and I'm going to ask each of them to spend just a few moments telling us a little bit about themselves as I introduce them and how they got into real estate. So we're going to start with the sales manager that's already been announced in our Green Valley office, Branden Cinquegrani. Branden, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into real estate, and just your brief history, if you would.
Good morning, everybody. So I got into real estate. I started doing some small business marketing on the side. I was actually bartending. I went to school for business and automotive engineering. Wanted to open up a performance shop back in the day. And then the market crashed, and there was no market for me to do that. So continued bartending, found a passion for marketing, started doing it for small businesses as like a side gig, and started making people a lot of money, and figured I had to start doing this for myself. Had a knack for sales. Once I just needed a product to believe in. Houses are pretty simple. Everybody needs a house. So it's something you can get behind. So that's how I ended up getting into real estate, and just having a hard work ethic, causes success.
Brandon, awesome intro. It's like we role played it, and I'm going to steal that. I just needed a product to believe in. That's going to be on a Foreigner song soon. I love it. Thank you for being here with us. And of course, Brandon is the sales manager in our Green Valley office. So welcome again, Brandon, and your formal announcement during the sales manager intro. Next, we're going to move to the Sunset office to Sasquatch himself, Mr. Andrew Lunsford. Andrew, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into real estate.
Well, it was quite a long journey for me. My background's actually law enforcement. I'm a retired Virginia State Trooper. I think I get that check in about 6 more years. I don't know. Graduate of the FBI Academy, background in VIP security, was with the governor's staff in Virginia back in the early 90s, and have a background in profiling, believe it or not. The way I got into real estate, we moved out here with my wife, and we started buying and selling properties in Nevada about 18 years ago. Every realtor I came in contact with had no negotiation skills, nothing that I could see any value to in myself. And my wife looked at me one day and said, "You should just go get your real estate license." And I said, "I don't want to go back to school. That's got to be hard." Got to looking into it, and sure enough, it was harder for me to become a dog groomer than it was for me to become a realtor. And I met up with Branden after going through a couple of brokerages real quick that I wasn't too enchanted with, and met Branden. And the first thing I told Branden was, I'm not in this just to sell. I want to own my own thing. And he's like, slow your roll, slow your roll. And he didn't realize how serious I was. And we ended up doing some business together, and opening up the former Northwest office, and was very successful there, and ended up selling that business and getting just business through myself back in the Southwest. And I can't imagine working for anyone else. This organization's been so good to me. So anything I can give back, I'm always happy to give back.
Andrew, thank you. I learned things I didn't know through that, and I will tell you my dogs look fantastic. So I just want to put that out there. We're going to move further to the north, and we're going to stop at our Summerlin office. And so I'm pleased to welcome Elie Morris. Mr. Social Butterfly is nice that he's paired with Janet, Mrs. Social Butterfly. But Elie, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into real estate.
Hi, everybody. I am Elie, and I am been in the business almost 20 years. I fell into real estate quite by mistake. I wasn't planning on it. I was selling real estate franchises for ERA. And it was one of those jobs where you were on the road a lot. And I did a lot of traveling and got a little tired of it. And had lunch with a guy who I sold the franchise to, and was just telling him, I'm thinking of getting out of this and doing something else. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I was tired of being on the road. And he suggested going into real estate. I'd never given it a thought. I thought, what the heck, give it a shot. And as quickly as I fell into it, I fell in love with it. And it's been my passion ever since. And to be here in Las Vegas with all you guys, this just makes it the icing on the cake.
Very cool. Welcome, Elie. We're so happy to have you. And believe it or not, we're going to move further north to an office that isn't there yet, but is already selected to our Northwest sales manager. And I'd like to welcome Erin Patrick, certainly not new to this group. And Erin, share with us a little bit about how you got into real estate and your background.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. I got into real estate through my husband, actually, Chris Patrick. So if you didn't know, a lot of people do, but some people don't. I was in the entertainment industry for over 20 years. I worked for Carnival, I worked for Disney, and that actually is what brought me to Las Vegas, as I wanted to perform on the Las Vegas Strip. And it isn't as exciting as you would think. You don't make very much money, and you're not treated very well, to be completely honest with you. And I met Chris early in 2016. He said, okay, I'm tired of you getting treated like garbage. You deserve more. You've always liked real estate. Why don't you just go get your license? And 15 minutes into real estate school, I was hooked, and I haven't looked back. So I'm very, very, very excited to be here.
And everyone always asks, Erin, which Disney princess were you?
Ones that you would never think of, but I was Pocahontas with Disney Cruise Line and Princess Jasmine when they had the Aladdin show, which is now Frozen at the Hyperion at California Adventure.
There you go. Well, Erin, welcome. Super glad to have you here as well. So just to give a little bit more background around the sales manager position, it's exactly what it says. It's about sales. And so the idea is that we have this incredible group, all with different backgrounds from different walks of life that brought them to real estate. All of them have built successful businesses, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. But the idea is that they're going to be able to engage our great sales force and help them move into higher production and really be that person to help motivate them and show you business models that you can use and utilize to move you, to the next level. We still have a great management team, and Janet is on here with us. Branden, I, and Vandana and Todd are here to answer all your broker questions. We're not going to burden any of the sales managers with deal issues because we want them out producing. But the idea is that they are going to be there to help coach, mentor, get you back to the business that you're looking for. And they all have a great way of doing that. So let's talk a little bit about each of your businesses, if you would. And I'm going to throw this out there. I'll pick someone to kind of start it off, and then would like everyone to kind of engage on each of these questions. But if you would, tell us about your setup, meaning how does your business look? Do you have a team? Do you do your business individually? What kind of setup do you have? And we'll start this time with Lunsford, if we can. Lunsford, tell us what your business looks like.
My business right now, I have a small team. There's only a few people on it. I've run team members in and out. My theory with teams is you really shouldn't be on a team forever. I would prefer to teach somebody to fish as to provide leads. I think learning to fish, and if you can learn that in a small amount of time, you go out and you fish on your own. My business so far for the year, I mean, you can probably, I'm looking back to my board, but I have Sasquatch on here. My business, personal business, I set a goal for the beginning of the year of $10 million. And I was rocking and rolling through the first quarter. I'm at 6.2 million already for the year for myself. I know Erin and Chris and Branden and Elie are probably higher, but I'm at a different stage of life to where I set a goal. I want to get there. It's more about the journey than it is to, just working 24/7, 7 days a week. I want some personal life in there too. But my business is SOI, staying on the phones, and marketing. I've created a couple of decent marketing plans through Facebook. As far as large groups, I have one group that has over 15,000 local people in it that I brand Sasquatch to. We just got 400 little mini Sasquatches in here now, and they're keychains, and I do the recognition. It's a lot of hard work. I think I've given Shelly more business this year than I've ever, but she's getting about 20 refis a day from me. My business is just hard work and being in the office every day. The downturn, we see it. You had mentioned before, how do we see the market going? I see the market being the same as it is, as long as you want to hustle. If you want to hustle and get out there, there's plenty of business to be had. It's just harder to get. You can't get frustrated, and you have to work every day. That's about it.
It's good stuff. Who wants to take it from there?
Branden?
Elie?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Elie.
Hey, my business is fairly steady. It's been a good year. COVID hasn't really interrupted it too much. My goal this year was to hit $12 million. I did a little over 9 last year. I want to hit 12. I was on pace for the first 6 months, but things got a little bumpy, and we're still looking pretty good. I'm still very confident I can break 10 million this year without a problem, and maybe hit the 12. My business is mostly made up of referrals. Like, I've been in this business now close to 20 years. I've been in sales all my life. So cold calling is something I did a lot in the beginning, but I don't do as much today. I do a lot of networking, and I get a lot of referrals from my network groups. These are people that I've spent time with, and they've gotten to know me. And when it comes to real estate, fortunately, they think of me. So that's really the lion's share of my business, is just referrals. I work my center of or sphere of influence like Andy does. And I love this business. And I look at the key is hard work. Nothing beats hard work. I work hard.
For sure. Branden or Erin? Erin, what does your business look like?
Well, it's much better now that I hired you as a coach.
Shameless fun.
No, but seriously, no, thank you. Anyway, our business, or my business, I should say, it's still very separate, but now my husband and I are merging, which we said we would never do, but we are. I never like to rely on anything from anybody, so I like to be a little self-made. But we run our business, or I run my business exactly as that, as a business. And I think that's really important to start that from day one, right? So I have office hours, I have business hours. I do not reply to things that are past business hours unless it's a team member and something's on fire. Obviously if something is an emergency, I will take care of it. But I think it's very, very important to start that and set that tone from day one, even if you are a rookie agent. If you're a veteran agent, you're trying to, reformat things. I think that's wildly important, because otherwise you're going to be spinning your wheels with people and driving yourself crazy, and you're going to burn yourself out. As far as where I get my business from, online presence is a massive thing for myself as well as my husband, and not selling, essentially. Referral business, listening is going to be your best tool ever. People will tell you everything. So, ask questions and listen.
Great stuff. Branden, what's your business look like?
So
your setup.
I actually have a little bit of a larger team now. But my emphasis on is kind of working to everybody's unique styles, letting them work in their own way. But building off of that, I really do put an emphasis on sphere of influence. I do really think that that's an essential part of this business that is really neglected. And then especially in coronavirus times, it kind of makes it a little difficult, just because if you don't have that referral business and that SOI to lean on, sometimes those lead sources start drying up a little bit, and it makes it a little bit more difficult. Also, lead sources, using a good CRM, whatever CRM you have, is really imperative to your business. Just maintaining all those reach outs to all your clients. I do have an emphasis on that too with my team. And just work your CRM, come in and actually work. That's probably the other thing too, is, a lot of times we get set on just going through the motions and not actually putting in the work. Sometimes, you just have to put in that extra effort to get out what you want in this business. And that's really in any business and life. So, put in the extra work and you'll get it out.
It's good stuff. I'm pretty impressed actually on the comments that were made, because each one of you highlighted a different piece of business. Branden SOI, Erin online leads, Elie with networking groups, and Lunsford talking about his database and his charity work. I mean, all of those are major business streams that all of us are trying to focus on one, and you guys have mastered them as you've gone through that process. And I also think it's very interesting that each of you are constants in our offices. You're there, you're productive on a daily basis. And so it really does play to the fact that when you show up and work at like a business, to Erin's point, it can turn into a real career. It's a real job. It's not just for fun and excitement once in a while. Let's talk a little bit more about your individual setups. And so, Branden, I'm going to start back with you. You talked about sphere of influence. And so tell us how you were able to establish your sphere of influence and how you consistently work it, and kind of what that looks like on a daily basis for you.
So we have a dashboard in our own CRM. Currently, I'm using Sync. Honestly, any CRM that you guys are using, as long as you actually have a system in place, you can make it work. So just don't think that, one program out there is going to solve all your problems. It starts with you and having a system. So my sphere of influence, I make sure I touch base with everybody, at least quarterly, past clients, friends, family. I can maintain those relationships. We typically will have client events. We'll just have small, even little get-togethers where I'll invite clients out. You know, this is one of those jobs where it's really cool. You can actually just have relationships with people and have a business. And there's not a lot of businesses where, you know, going out to dinner is working. You know, you can actually go out, invite your clients out, have a good time, and get business out of it. So I think, you know, the business is what you make it. And if you actually just do those little things, you know, we're really in the relationship business. If you keep those relationships, you know, they all come back to you, and that's how the majority of your business will come back to you. So yeah, touching that to my sphere of influence, it could be even little things. I'm sure everybody's heard of pop buys, or if I'm selling a house, if I have a showing or a listing appointment in a neighborhood where I have another client, I always drop by. Even during COVID, I've dropped by. I'll knock on the door and, you know, stay 6 feet back and, you know, just hope that they're doing all right. It's just little things where you actually, you know, always consistently touch back with your clients. And then obviously you got to build that sphere of influence where all the marketing comes in and all the calls come in. But really, just your basis of people you come into contact every day can really build that.
So Branden, one last question on your sphere of influence. So for an agent who's out there who really hasn't figured it out yet, what word of advice do you have to get that process started? And if they just don't know where to begin? I mean, you said CRM, of course, getting great makes, but what advice do you get?
You know, for new agents or new to the area agents, you know, I had a colleague of mine tell me this when, you know, I started over at this office. They said that they would hand out 10 business cards every day. You know, and I say you do like a spin off of that, introduce yourself to 10 people a day. You don't always have to bring up real estate. It usually comes up kind of naturally. People always ask, well, what do you do? And that's always your cue. You can actually, you know, just say, you don't actually have to tell them, hey, my name's Branden, here's my card. You know, you can actually just make it come more naturally. But creating conversations, you know, just going out, you know, you order a coffee in the morning, you go and you introduce yourself and you just have a conversation with people.
Wow.
It's really powerful. Yeah.
That's awesome. Erin, let's go to you. You talked about online marketing, which I think is something that everyone tries to understand and better get. And, you know, what do I do? How do I do it? Give us a little bit about how you were able to get that going and what it looks like. You don't have to give us your trade secrets, but give us an idea.
That's okay. There's enough business for everybody. I'm happy to share whatever you want to know. So when I was building my online presence, and I think this is really important for any agent, is you have to be on every single platform. They always say, don't be a silent agent. So wear your name badge, you know, everywhere you go, but this is the same for online, especially now with COVID, everything is virtual, but it has been like this for a while. So, you know, if you're at home and after this happens, I challenge you to Google yourself and see what comes up. If you're not coming up in the first page, you're a silent agent and you need to fix it. So you need to be on every real estate platform there is and complete it in its absolute entirety. Everything. Do not leave any stone unturned. And once you start building that, you know, don't run ads if you don't have any type of reviews on there. That's silly, right? You're gonna waste money. So start building your reviews on whatever platform, if it's not all of them, and then you can start, you know, marketing yourself the same way that you would end up marketing a property that you want to list and sell. I always tell agents that I coach, I say, listen, if you're going to go after a listing, you better make sure that you can market yourself, because who is going to trust you in marketing their listing and their home if you can't do it properly for your own self?
That's great advice. There are so many online platforms, and I just think, you know, everyone automatically, oh yeah, I got my Zillow profile, I got my Realtor.com profile, but you're talking about mass expansion into Yelp and Instagram and all of these other sites. And the more that you promote, the advice you would give to a new agent is to make that happen so that they have a good presence.
Absolutely.
I'm going to start right now. After this meeting, I'm going to get my Yelp profile going.
I'm
Elie,
so proud of you. Good job.
Hopefully I get no bad reviews, but we'll see how it goes. Elie, talk a little bit about social networks. And so I think this is so interesting because I know I've been to many events and you're always there first and you're there to participate and meet people. Tell us why that, how did you get into it, and what advice do you get?
I got into it when I was, the market tanked and I was pretty much out of business because for a while I was doing REOs. And when the REO business went out, I had no business practice at all. So I took a part-time job leasing office space with a company here in town, and they were members of the Chamber of Commerce. And they asked me to go to a chamber meeting on their behalf. And that's how it all began. Met a couple nice people, and I'm a sociable guy anyway. So you put me in a social setting, I'm flipping and flitting all over the place. So I like that. You know, like I said, I've done a ton of cold calling, from door knocking, phone calling. I've gone to malls and approached people. So cold calling doesn't bother me, but I got to tell you, networking, I say this all the time, beats the heck out of cold calling. It's a great way to build. And what's the key with networking is that you can't just go and, unlike on Erin's social network, internet platforms, you don't want to be in 10 different networking groups. You want to find 1 or 2 or 3 max and become the regular person there. So every time there's an event, you're there. You can't do that if you belong to too many groups. The Chamber of Commerce is a great example. I don't know if there's 5,000 or 6,000 members, but there's no question in my mind, all the people at the top, when it comes to real estate, if the real estate comes up, they think of Elie. And that's because my ugly mug is there all the time, and they know me. And that's what it's all about. I never sell. I'm never selling when I'm at a networking event. I'm just talking, learning about them, what they're up to, what brought them to town, just becoming friendly with them and giving them a good impression. I've had more people, I can tell you, that have come to me months and even years later and said, you know, I'm looking by a home. I might not have seen them for a while, but they remember that I gave them the time and I never pushed them and I made them feel welcome. And that's what networking is all about.
Elie, great point. I mean, it's like working a small micro database of people, just like you would with Brandon's SOI, and you've created that group, and to have 1 or 2 that you really care about. What best practices would you give to a new agent when breaking into a networking group? I mean, start off with a bang. I mean, what's the idea?
Find one group you're comfortable with, and never miss a meeting, and always be friendly, willing to help. And just make sure you're there. Be a regular participant in that group. If it's once a month, twice a month, once a week, whatever it is, make sure you're always there early. You always leave late, and you're there to help out in any way you can. And you will become whatever group you're in. They'll know you're the realtor, and they could bring in 5. Listen, in the chamber, there's tons of realtors. Doesn't matter to me. They're not active like I am. So whatever group you're in, be active, be very active.
Great point. Andrew, let's talk about your charitable work, because I've actually seen recently multiple clients of yours or multiple people that you know across the country just post photos of Sasquatch to get your attention and show them that they're engaged. How did you get started on that? How did you turn it into something that benefits your business and your personal life? Give us a little bit of a background on that.
Well, before I do that, can I add to Branden and Elie real quick? You know, Branden brought up a point about the business cards, giving out 10 a day. And then Elie brought up the fact about networking. I don't know if you saw the guy that came in here the other day. I gave you one of these. It's going to be kind of hard to see. I like building other people's businesses. And what I get them to do, this one right here is a new meat company in town, that I get them to co-brand with me. Instead of me giving them a business card, I give people takeaways when I meet them. And this is a co-branded piece for the meat company that has mine and my team's information on it. Gives them a discount for gourmet meats. This one right here is free tickets to a comedy club, LA Comedy Club. Once comedy gets back, you know, these used to be hot items. All they have to do, it's co-branded with me. And the way I build my business is to try to build up other people's businesses. And when I give these out, somebody that I don't know, they may ask, well, what do you do? Then that leads into the conversation of real estate. And then they're like, wow, you didn't give me your business card. You helped me build somebody else's. But now the guy who owns the comedy club and the guy who owns the meat company, they become my advocates, much like Elie going to a Chamber of Commerce meet. You got to create people that become your advocates in your business. So that's one of the takeaways that I get learning from Branden, learning from Elie, learning from Erin. You know, the takeaways that you can do is sometimes it's not about what can you do for me, it's what can I do for you, which comes back to other people asking them what they can do for me. And that kind of goes right back into the charity aspect of it. You know, the way Sasquatch was created is when I sold my other real estate business, I had a non-compete for several years. And in that non-compete, I couldn't sell or do certain things in my business, you know, for that period of time. Couldn't be a broker, couldn't formally work in a certain area. And I'm glad that that's all over with here recently and we can kind of kick things back up. But I actually decided to put some money back into my business. And I went to a think tank in California. I said, look, this is my situation. And for 2 days, I sat down and talked to people in marketing, and the way it came out that we ended up with Sasquatch, they said, well, what is it that you do that's different than the other realtors? And I said, you know, I'm not concerned about commission, anything like that. I just like helping people avoid the hidden dangers in real estate. And so they wrote hidden dangers on a whiteboard on the second day. And when they came up with that, they said, well, hidden dangers, what does that mean? What's hiding in there? And then they said, well, the hide and seek champion. Somebody came up with it, said, hide and seek champion of the world is Bigfoot. And I said, that doesn't rhyme with signature. I said, Sasquatch rhymes with signature Sasquatch. So we went from there. And from there, I went to a studio, FX studio in LA, and I had them create this character. And then we brought that into how can we use this guy to brand for me, but yet get the community involved. And hockey was coming and all that stuff. We dressed him up in Golden Knights gala. Sorry. Then the Golden Knights did me a big favor, and the Golden Knights came up with this little guy. And they kind of robbed me. I don't know if you can see it. It's a Sasquatch with the Golden Knights jersey on it. And they sold out because I went and bought them all. And then from there, I found the company that made them in British Columbia, and I have them making me little trinkets now to where I can continue that. But you talk about, yes, anybody that knows me now, first thing they see about Sasquatch, it gets posted and sent to me. Every time they see Sasquatch in the Northwest or someplace else, in Oregon, California, wherever it's big, people bring me socks to hockey games. People bring me hats. I mean, Branden Roberts is experienced in their seats. People just come up and hand me stuff. And I tell you, I had actually a bad experience yesterday or this past weekend that I reviewed with Branden Roberts on about how to handle this. To somebody who recognized me, and I expected their business, but I expected them to come to me. I didn't reach out to them. So I learned a big lesson this weekend. On my own Facebook, one of the people in my group purchased a house, and they sat behind us in our hockey seats. They knew as a realtor. They always took my stuff. She's bought me socks. She's asked for hockey pucks with Sasquatch on it. And I just reached out to her yesterday. And I said, Connie, I saw you on, I shouldn't have said her name. I said, I saw you on Facebook. You purchased a new house. I said, did I do something to offend you? You just closed on it. Did anything happen to where you didn't think of me? She's like, no, I refer you all the time. She said, but I went to a lender and they referred me to a VA specialist and said I had to use that person. And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. I'm a VA rep. I'm an MRP rep. She said, well, crap, if I'd known that, I would have made them use you. So I have to pick up what I'm doing now to educate my buyers and sellers on everything that I'm qualified in to do or trained in. And she actually apologized to me, but it was a lesson. It was a $10,000 lesson to me.
Sure.
That would have made me, put me at 7 million for the year, that one transaction. And I got a little offended, but I think I handled it the right way because I educated her. I got the validation back from me that she was thinking of me. She just didn't think of me in the right way. Now I have to pick that up and educate people.
So Andrew, when you talk about, it's cool to hear you point that out. And to tie this all back together, you took the time and energy and investment to take a plan, create a costume. I mean, like a special effects costume, because it mattered that much to your business. And you've literally created something that everyone in Las Vegas who's seen a Golden Knights game has seen you in the stands in that outfit. I mean, you've created that ability without, having to get on the radio or having to get on TV. And I think that that's the whole point of why this entire group is now here at the company, because if I can take a liberty for a minute, if I wanted to become that next idea, I've got a great mentor in Andrew. If I wanted to become a networking specialist and understand how to infiltrate my church group that I know I could get business from, I've got Elie Morris to show me how to do it. If I wanted to create the best online presence to give the best picture of how to create business, Erin Patrick is going to make me a star. And if I want to keep the people in my family, the people in my social network, the people that I've created business with, to know that I'm the agent to talk with a great database, I've got Branden to make it happen for me. That is why we have sales managers, folks. That is what they're bringing to the table, is they have a unique set of skills, just like Liam Neeson. They have a unique set of skills that they can provide you with, and all you got to do is raise your hand and ask. And so I am super stoked about you guys. I'm super stoked about your background. I want to ask you a couple more questions, though, and I want to get through them so that we can provide as much value to the group as we can. Let's talk about COVID. Each of you have come from different backgrounds. Each of you have built different businesses, and each of you is still productive. You're still putting points on the board. You're still listing houses. You're still putting buyers in contract. How have you stayed motivated? And I'll throw it out to anyone who wants to go first. How have you stayed motivated during the COVID crisis, and how do you keep hitting it every day to make your business happen?
I'm motivated every day, whether it's COVID or Schmovid. I mean, every morning I get up is the best day of my life. And it doesn't always turn out that way, but it always starts out that way. I think that's important, that you have a mindset it's going to be a great day. And look, at COVID has obviously been a hindrance, even in my business, as it gets in the way. It can't help but get in the way a little bit. But overall, it has, I still get up every day. I recite my daily goals. I go out and work. Even if I'm not leaving my house, I'm working every day in my office. I'm treating my business just like I always treated it. I'm just behaving a little differently with the public. But other than that, I still, I'm showing homes. We're wearing masks. We're carrying disinfectant. But people still want to buy. People still want to sell. And I'm going to do everything I can to help them.
That's a great point.
And if not you, me, Elie.
That's right. You got it, Andy.
Erin, Branden, Andrew, anything you guys want to add?
I would say,
Yeah. Sorry.
I would just say that, change is always promised. Adaptation is not. So when something happens, you have to learn how to adapt and change with it. This isn't going to be the last thing that ever happens to us. There's going to be good times, bad times, ups, downs, markets changing. You just have to adapt with the market. That's in any business, So I put an emphasis on that with my team. When the coronavirus hit, I had to kind of reel everybody in. They were humming, just like probably everybody else's team right before all this hit. And I started noticing probably 2 weeks after that everything was starting to, fluctuate there. So, kind of had to reel everybody in and really focus and try and change with the market. Everybody started using Zoom. Everybody started, we all implemented different things to change with the market. And I just think that was the most important thing, is just making a change. And that's it.
Great point. Great point. Erin?
Both Branden and Elie make amazing points. And so thank you for that. But myself, my husband, our team, we never stopped. In fact, we actually pushed harder. We worked past business hours. We were working on things that we didn't really have the time to do when we were in a more, productive business, if you will. So we really were able to focus on the internal stuff. If you're going to continue working from home, please get ready. Get ready. Don't work in your pajamas. That's just going to kind of bring you in a weird mindset. Do everything that you would naturally. We had the most successful quarter as a team. It's actually the first time that every single agent on our team was able to say that they were the top producer for that quarter. So shameless plug for myself. I was very excited for that. And yeah, we just started, implementing things. A lot of people were taking time off. I serve on a board for Women's Council, and these girls were like, "Oh, I'm at the pool." I'm like, "I'm opening up escrow. What are you doing?" And they're very, very productive women. So yeah, we just never stopped. We actually pushed harder and harder and harder and harder. And any dip that we had maybe have felt, we are seeing the rewards from our previous work, 3 months ago, 2 months ago now. And, we're just keep on trucking on.
That's awesome. And you brought up a topic that I had on my sheet, and that's involvement in the industry, whether it's charities or the board or, groups. Tell us, any of you involved in different organizations? Erin, you mentioned WCR, how long you've been involved in them? Why are you doing it?
I ask myself that daily. Well, I have been involved with GLBAR, LBR since the day I got my license. I think it's wildly important. If you're not involved in this association, please ask any of your leadership staff, how you can get involved, because there's so much good to come out of that. I promise you, you're going to start meeting really, really productive agents. That's going to help you when you're in a multiple offer situation. Trust me. However, that being said, I think it's really important to not sit back on your heels and really be involved, whether it's a community service. I support local charities every single month. I donate a portion of my commission to a charity of my choice. Last month, it was about sex trafficking. So I'll either pick a really important topic. Look, I'm making you cry, Chris. A really important topic. But for me, the involvement that I choose to do is something that is either going to serve the realtor member or serve me in a better way to be more of an advocate for my client. So I applied for MLS BOD. So that's exciting. We'll see if I get on that, but I'll be serving on grievance next year as well.
Awesome. Elie, Andrew, Branden, any groups that you're part of that you've engaged into that you're starting to wonder why?
Yeah, I've been active with VA Rep for a long time, and it's the military and the veterans that have motivated me. It happens that's a local group, but there's a few other groups I participate in. And my great broker, Janet, taught me something I didn't get at first, because I love the network, and my thought was, why in the world would I want to network with realtors? I don't even care for them that much. But I learned from Janet the reason, and I am active in our community. And Erin made a great point. I can't tell you how many times I came across a multiple offer situation, and because of the relationship I had, I got the leg up. And it's fantastic. So I was kidding. I love realtors, and I love working with them. And I go to as many functions as I can in our industry to give back a little bit to our community, our real estate community. But yeah, I love networking with realtors. It's good for everybody.
Andrew, when you were talking about, you've also been involved with VA Rep, and you got involved in that group because you wanted to give back to veterans as well. Same reasoning, same thoughts, you had the same experience?
Same reason. At the time I got involved with VA Rep, we had the Northwest office, the Signature Northwest office, and my office was the very first office, not Signature office, any office, that Jeff, I believe it's Jeff Hatfield, isn't it, Elie? At the time, Jeff was the first president. We held the first class in Providence for the first section of VA Rep. Elie, were you in that, or did you come later?
I've been there with them from about almost 10. It's from the beginning.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
That class, though, Andy. I wasn't at that class.
Yeah, we held the very first one, and we also did the same thing with MRP. But I think one of the best programs around, and I'm not that active at all in LVAR, GLVAR, and I know I should be. I used to be back a long time, but I started focusing more on me than others. Had my own individual charities and things I wanted to do. I think the best program is our state leadership program. Is by far the best program that I've ever seen. And I know that Erin has graduated, Branden's graduated that, Janet's graduated that. I think you have too, haven't you, Chris? And the one you haven't done. You know, a lot of my business sense and the way I think about business, I took from there. And it's an ordeal. It's a year-long program, and it requires a lot of effort and some time and money on our part. But I think the state leadership program is probably one of the best programs out there.
That's awesome. So last question I have on my list, and I'm going to start it with Branden because I think he has the best perspective so far. Branden, you've been doing this for about a month now. Based on your new role as a sales manager, how do you see yourself helping agents, and how has that been going? And then we'll open it up to the group.
So yeah, I've been reaching out to agents and really just, you know, I feel like we all need motivation. And I think that's that's the reason I started a team, because, you know, we all motivate each other. So that's what I've been doing. I've been calling out to people, seeing what their struggles have been with the business, and seeing, you know, a different track we can put them on to become more successful. You know, and I actually love it because I've been seeing their faces come through the office at people I haven't seen in a very long time, coming through the office, and they're really starting to put the work in, and I can see the motivation and it actually coming to fruition. I can see that they're getting business and starting to make sales. So yeah, just really having those one-on-ones and implementing a plan, and, you know, just making sure that we're doing things to stay the course and, you know, become successful agents, you know, and it's okay to ask for help. You know, that's the thing too, is, you know, it's, I think that's one thing that is nice about the brokerage offering this program to people, is you're giving them a tool to, you know, be successful in this business, where, you know, there's some, especially 100% houses, where that's something that doesn't, you know, you never get that. You know, it's like, you're lucky there's coffee in the pot. So, so no, it is. It's a nice tool to keep people motivated and succeeding in their career.
Good points, and thanks to Shelley, there's always coffee in the pot. Erin, Elie, Andrew, anything that you guys want to add?
Yeah, you know, I actually wanted to add something about this program, and the way this is the way I see the sales manager's role. If anybody's ever gone bungee jumping, or if anybody's ever gone skydiving, and I've done both, the first time I went bungee jumping, and you got to imagine me 100 pounds lighter, because now my back's broken from have 8 screws in my back, and there's no more skydiving for me. But the first time I went, somebody had to push me. And after they pushed me, you know, it became easier. After I fell, and especially skydiving, when I did a tandem jump and not a free fall on my own, it was better when I had somebody on my back guiding me down. And then after I got comfortable, I was able to solo on my own very quickly. And I think this program is kind of like that. Sometimes you just need a little push. And you get that little push for a short period of time. You learn a few things, and it's easier to come in the office. It's easier to make phone calls. It's easier to reach out to your SOI. It's just having an accountability partner that's going to help you push your business forward. I'm never a believer in huge, long-term things. Sometimes it's good for people. Sometimes people need a constant push every day. And for those people, that's good. But for maybe 50% of the people, they just need a short-term push. And that short-term push gets them over to where they can sustain and do things on their own and feel comfortable. At least that's my opinion. That's
a great point. Great point. Elie, you put a comment out there yesterday. You don't need a parachute to skydive. You only need it if you're going to do it twice.
That's right. That's the truth. You know, I agree with Andy what he's talking about. You know, when I was in the insurance business, I had an agency, and I promised everybody I will hold your hand and let you go a finger at a time. And that is somewhat of my philosophy. Some people need a little more babysitting than others, but everybody needs to be motivated. Everybody needs to feel good about themselves. Everybody needs to feel special. Everybody needs to feel that they can succeed in whatever they're doing in real estate. And so motivate and educate. That's what I want to do. I want to teach them the business and motivate them to go out and practice what they were taught.
Good point, Erin.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So many good little nuggets here. But yes, for me, education is absolutely key. Very much to what Andrew said earlier. You know, I could give you a bunch of things, but I'd rather teach you how to do it. Because, you know, who knows how long you may possibly be with me or, you know, in the business. So I think, you know, doing something every single day is really, really important. A lot of people will either sit in their office or just come here and just not know what to do. So, you know, giving people guides on just how to tweak their business just a little bit, and then capitalizing on what you're good at, right? So whatever you're good at, let's add that times 100. You know, a lot of people will say, oh, I want to be like Elie. I want to be like Andrew. No, you be like yourself. You're good enough in your own right. It's just a matter of finding those things, tweaking them through, you know, a coach, and just setting yourself apart.
Well, thank you all very much for that litmus test of questions that we put you through. And it's evident to me that we made some fantastic choices for additional leadership team members for the company. And so I want to thank all of you individually for what you're about to undertake, and the heart and the love that you're going to put into it is evident already. And so again, the whole idea around this is support. And so if you're on this video and you're watching and you've connected with something that's been said or one of the business models that you've seen outlined, please reach out. It's the best thing that you can do for your business. These guys are here to help and to make you a better agent. I know that I'm better for taking part in this meeting. And with that, Branden, we're a little bit early, but we'll turn it back over to you. Thank you so much.
Cool. First, I just want to thank all of you. It means a lot to me that you guys have stepped up to this role. All of you have been with me 5 years or longer. And the loyalty that you guys have given to the company is amazing. And I'm excited to see the direction of where we're going to go with this. Especially, we want to thank you, Chris. When Chris came on as the general manager and we sat down and we talked about where we were lacking as a company and the direction we wanted to go. One of the things is we didn't want to be like every other company out there and just have agents to have agents. And we've got competitors out there that talk about how big we are and how we can't give that personal touch, and we're losing that. And I never want to lose that. And one of my commitments to the agents, to all of you guys, have been to always make sure that we had the support behind us so that we could help everybody grow in this thing. And when we look at our roster and we look at some of the production at I want to say the bottom, but I think a lot of that is that people can feel lost in a company or not feel like, not know where to go and not where to turn. And I think this adds another avenue for everyone to do that. And but this will allow us to really grow as a company. And we now have the sales manager position, which is kind of a mentorship product that we're able to mentor the agents that are already with us growing. We have an apprenticeship program for brand new agents coming in to teach, train, and coach them up to production. And then we have a coaching product now that coaches agents that just want to take their business to another level. So I believe we have all that aspects covered. And I want to make sure that you guys understand that it takes, just because we have this doesn't mean that everybody's going to be successful. You still have to reach in and take advantage of stuff. And if you'll do this, I promise your production will do better. And we've got more tools and more plans and more things to really help everyone's production grow. So with that, I will turn it back to Chris to sign us off. But again, I just want to really thank all of you, and also let you know that there are some more positions. If you really have a burning desire to be part of sales management or leadership, please reach out to Chris. And because we do need variety, and because everybody kind of resonates with somebody different. So Chris, thank you again, and thank you guys.
Thanks, guys. Another great meeting that happened. We were excited down the road, probably in the next couple of weeks, we're going to try and have a semi-live meeting for your benefit. We would be spaced like 7 or 8 feet apart, but making sure everyone has masks. But we do kind of want to bring back that in-person mentality a little bit, because as we know, everyone is assembling to the face mask, to the hand sanitizer. My hands are dried out from sanitizer, but I think everyone is doing their part here at Signature to keep everyone safe. And so we do want to kind of work that back in. So look forward to information on that. And as Branden said, we're here for you. The entire leadership team is here to help you in any way we can, whether it's deal issues, personal issues, mental issues, whatever, we're here. And so let us know and just reach out. And with that, have a great week, have a productive week, and be safe. Thank you so much for being here.